the May steering committee meeting or GIS consortium. So first thing first, we'll try go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Mike Rizzatello, Director of Information Services for SFMMA.
Dennis Vado, Deputy Director, Information Services, SFMA.
Click on GS analyst.
Lakeisha Wright, planner, SFMA.
Chris Boschert, GIS Analyst.
Tim Stinnett, IT Manager, Redwood.
Jim Moreno, Ryan Franklin, Rules of Atkinson.
Rich Rimkin, City of Oak Forest Public Works.
Mark Miller, City of Blue Island, Project Coordinator.
Starkville, Road Agent.
Christine Francis.
First thing first, we'll try just, I'll give some project updates and things that we're doing. I've been trying to get all information for asset management stuff that we'll go over in a little bit. And additionally, I've been talking a lot of building footprints for communities such as Phoenix, Richmond Park, Olympia Fields, and so forth. Additionally, Census released a lot of brand new data sets on data.gov, so I've been trying to symbolize that with the new census tracts and the census blocks as well, and then get some new banking information and structures that are owned by essentially nonprofits like Habitat and the banks that we're working with for the bank initiative with the housing collaborative. Dennis, you want to go over
Doing a lot of, I did some building footprints for Chicago Heights, as well as Country Club Hills, and we actually have a new thing of a map that will show you a little bit later.
I'm just trying to get data from different places and going around collecting maps. And if you guys have anything that you need extra than that, please give it to us. I think you guys owe us sheets for rental properties and vacant properties and things like that. So if you guys have them, make sure you give it to us.
I've been primarily just working on digitizing infrastructure as well as building footprints.
Yeah, I've been building an infrastructure also for DDPG communities, working on footprints for Nancy and Park Forest.
and he wasn't here at the last meeting, so I'd just like to introduce him. Jose's our newest staff member. He's our GIS analyst. Because I went over it in one of the earlier newsletters, but Lakeisha, while she's still doing some GIS stuff, she's moving over to the housing function. So essentially, Jose's taken over a lot of those duties as well. One of the things I wanted to go over as well is there has been a new iteration of the direction booklets on how to use the web mapping application. It's available in multiple places. The website, off of the web mapping application, we actually now have a help icon. It's there. I also printed out new print copies for everything out front as well. So we have that. One of the things too that is in the process of getting done as well is that metadata dictionary where essentially we're doing where all the data is essentially deriving from and so on and so forth. So yeah, as you can see, the help icon is there. When you're in the web mapping application, it's like a little metadata thing on top. If you want to find out where any of the data comes from, that's where you would do it. Then the other thing as well is I believe I touched on this in some previous meetings, but earlier in the spring semester we actually had UIC conduct a little study on essentially what we're doing here, and they actually suggested some very interesting things. So I'm going to be given a report because they're in the process of sending all the legitimate materials right now. But one of the things I think we all need to think about is they actually recommended formulating a technical and like a sustainability subcommittee to essentially explore the fees we're charging and then also any new strides in GIS as far as things we want to add to the web mapping application. So that's something we should probably think about. In that survey I sent out, it seemed like a lot of So would anyone be interested in essentially serving at either one of those committees?
So the sustainability, committee is gonna look at kind of the cost associated
Yeah.
with some of the stuff, and the technical is going to be like what other
Yeah.
gaps we have in the plan.
Yeah. That's the idea, because as you know, this was all formulated out of the grant, and sustainability part naturally is the key component, since over years the grant's essential will go away. I mean, there might be one in the future, but you never know. And I mean, while right now the fees are okay, it always changes in the future, so. Yeah, so, this is something to think about, in next month, maybe we'll discuss that. So do you wanna go over maybe some of your functions?
Okay, so, we'll just go to the public portal real fast. There is a new function that we've added that I think is gonna help a lot of people, with economic development or just showing maps to various people. So up until now, you could do this copy extends where you could get a URL and provide a link to someone and it would zoom in right where you were zoomed, but it was just the location. Now what you can do is we can actually basically bookmark the layers and area, so you're creating your own map and you can send that to people. So let's do an example. So if I just go to bookmarks, I go to Blue Island, I can zoom down to their TOD area, hybrid, change the layer. So let's just turn on a couple layers, let's see what happens. So let's just turn TIF districts on. I can go down to planning, turn the building footprints on. And then go down to TOD, turn metro lines on, and stations. I'll turn on the sites. So there's our TOD site. So let's zoom in. And I'm gonna change the transparency just so you can see if the transparency works. Alright, so let's say you have, I don't know, developer or someone you wanna see this map. You have to create it in the public portal, and if you wanna send this map to someone really easily, what you do is, you hit this tab down here, it says export map. So you just hit export map, and then you're gonna save it. Save it to the desktop. Blue Island. Okay, so now it's gonna save as this VMAP file. So save it somewhere, you're gonna remember where it is. Alright, export map completed. So what you're gonna do then is you can send that file to someone in an email, maybe send them the link, the address to this site. So all they have to do is log on, go to the public portal, and it opens up, and let's just clear everything, show them what it would look like if they opened it. Then they would use that link, that file that you sent them in an email or something. So they open this up, they have that file saved on their desktop or somewhere in a folder. And then all they have to do is go down here to import map, and then navigate to where it is. I have mine on the desktop, it's right here. And so you click on the map, and it zooms you right into it. So you could put together 5 maps, export them all, put them in a folder, email them to someone, tell them to just log on the website, on the public portal, and then they can just say import map, and they can just click on any map, once you sent them, and it'll take them exactly to where it is. It'll show them exactly the layers you had turned on, as well it's a little different than that. It's like you're really exporting like a big HTML like kind of thing. So you're not actually like.
So they really need to come back to the.
They have to go into the web map because what you're saving is this virtual map. It's called a VMap. And so it's not just like you're opening a PDF. You can do that. You would have to go to the print widget and actually you can actually download PDFs, which we've shown you before. But if you just want to send them an interactive virtual map, you know, let's say I have 5 sites, I can log on here, pick my 5 sites, export each one, put them in a folder, email them to the person you want to look at these sites, and all they have to do is go to the public portal and just import the maps that you sent them. It'll take them exactly to this, and then from there they can, you know, mess around, do whatever they want from that. I think it's a really cool feature. If you're doing economic development, one thing you have to be wary about is if you, I did it on a public portal, this one, if you want to send a map to someone, you're going to want to do it in the public portal, because you're not going to have, it only works public to public or private to private. But if you want to send a private one to someone else in your village, say, oh, here's, you know, I was looking at this area, what do you think about this, send it to someone, you can do private to private, just that person's going to log in. But it won't work. Like if I saved this in the private one and someone opened it in the public one, it wouldn't work. So public to public, and I think we'll put like the tasks, the directions somewhere.
The directions are in the new directions.
It's in the new directions.
The ones I printed out in the front. It's in there.
So it's really easy again. You just set up however you want. You zoom into wherever you want. Set it up however. Export map. Save it, and then you can send it to someone. And then all you have to do is log back on, and there's an import map, and just click on it, and it'll zoom right into wherever you saved before. So I think that's a really nice feature. They have. Is there anything else, Mark?
Well, I went over the heat map before, but that's a newer thing you might want.
So we have these heat maps. We'll zoom out a little bit.
Now the heat maps, we'll just go over this to show you, we actually want to add more to this. Right now, we just have essentially bicycle crashes and some of the recorder foreclosures, so click on the command. This is just a good way of visualizing essentially where's the largest concentration of things at. So right now we have crashes and foreclosures, and from the, and you can, as you can see right here, you can set even essentially the intensity where it gauges it based on the number of incidences. Beyond the foreclosures, one of the things this would be good for is you guys get the data to us, would be things such as like fire calls, police calls. I've seen it for all of those before. So yeah, this is a nice new function we rolled out, and it can be used for just about, I would say, any point type feature class, so it's a nice thing to have. Okay. That'll work mainly if you have a dual screen, but with that, with the big maps right here, as you can see, one of the things we wanted to add was essentially bird's eye, where if you're zoomed in an area and you wanted to see pictometry to get a better idea of like the height and so forth of structures, you'd be able to do that. So we built this function into it where if you're zoomed in and you click on that big map icon, it'll actually zoom in to right where you're at on the base map, except it'll be the bird's eye imagery. And the neat thing is, and you'll be able to see this, especially if you have dual screen, but as you're zooming in and out, or as you're navigating up and down in the web map, this will actually follow it within the web map application, which is a unique thing. So
yeah, it just goes correctly. What I'm clicking on over here.
So I'll be sending invites out. The first group I went and tested with. Let me know if you want to be within the first group. Just because I don't want to ton people at once. Just because I want to make sure everything is working correctly with it. But that is going to be released as well. And then beyond that, the aerial imagery, Cook County actually just got finished QAing essentially the 2011 imagery, and I don't think I've explained this before, but essentially how the aerial imagery works in the region is around this time every year, Cook County and all 6 counties in the region actually go under contract with a flight company to take the aerial imagery, not just for Cook County, but all 6 counties. So they're doing that right now, and essentially, because it comes in little tiles, it takes them about a year roughly to QA it. So while they're flying the new imagery, essentially the imagery from the previous year gets released. So we'll have that. Now we'll be working on the base map with that soon as well. Because they're releasing that. And the nice part is Cook County actually QAs all the aerial imagery, not just for Cook, but for all 6 counties. So when they give that to us, it'll be well in due age as well.
So Mike, will that be a new base map, or will you just replace what you've got?
I'll probably do a new base map option just because I think there's a lot of power to essentially still having this as an option, or just to see different land uses and so forth over time. So it would be it'd be another base map option. I definitely don't want to get rid of what we have. Because eventually what I would like to do is similar to what Champaign County does, where they actually have this time gauge where over time they actually tile imagery going all the way back to the 1950s, and you could see how things changed. So ultimately, that's where I want to go with this. So that is about it with that. The next thing I should probably go over is something many of you have been interested in, which is essentially building an asset management system on top of this. So one of the things that I've done, and this is what the survey I released a while ago was just going over the various options and vendors and so forth and their pricing, and give you a better understanding of it, and then you could let me know how to proceed with this. Because especially with talking with a lot of these vendors, we definitely, with a bunch of communities coming in all at once, we can get the price down fairly good. Not to minimize it, it still is a very, I would say, expensive venture, but it does definitely bring the cost down. So first, I'll go over what is the asset management system, and essentially it's a flexible IT asset tracking solution to help you gain and maintain control of your inventory, and it can run independently from an Esri web map application, or some that run off of even Google Maps as a geospatial visualization tool, or it can run off Esri Arc server applications such as ours. So the ones that I'm going to go over now are the ones I've previously mentioned, as well as one new one they actually John Schaefer notified me about. The ones that so far that have actually given me bids and quotes are ones in Asterix, which is Cartograph, Azteca CityWorks, and Energov. The new one is that ViewWorks, and I'll go over a little why I found out about that later one in a little bit. So the Cartograph, and mind you, all the information pertaining to all of these options are out front. I printed copies, and I'll also email it with the minutes later. Cartograph has been around for a while, and essentially there's 2 iterations of it. Previously it was server-based, but this month they actually released the cloud-based version of it, and it can be integrated into Esri Arc Server Maps, or the tool could just be moved to a Google Maps, and it allows geocoding within it, and it has individual modules for a variety of things such as public works, pavement markings, storm water, and individual work orders. The one thing I will say they're a little shaky on is like some of the work orders that might pertain to other departments such as permitting and community development. Because I finally was able to actually see what the new one looks like. And I've seen what the public works one does, but as far as planning and community development, they don't really delve into that too much, so I can't really vouch for that. So to the right here, and all the PowerPoint, not only will this get sent out by printed as well, but that's approximately the drawing to the right, how they would view our system implementing it. The suggested one to work our system is their navigator option, which includes the work orders and public works and so forth. And the pricing that they gave me is a little above 37,000 a year for year one implementation, which would consist of 10 licenses. And if less communities wanted to join, divide that by 10, and you'll get your cost per municipality. And then the year two cost for the 10 is a little above 9,000. The one thing that is a little bizarre with the pricing that they gave me is they give the price of the software and things of that sort. But when you're dealing in the asset management realm, there's always an implementation line item, such as getting some of their staff out here and make sure it integrates properly. Because from our end, you can't really get it fully integrated. You need their cooperation as well as training. So one of the things that I try to do in Urbana is seem pretty accurate. So I think it's a good recommendation. As for implementation, I usually try to figure that it's around 30% of the cost of the license, and that seemed to serve me well during a similar implementation in Urbana. There are optional add-ons with Cartograph. Essentially, they have a YourGov citizen reporting app, and what this would do is essentially it's deployed over Android and iPhone environment. And if your citizens are out and they see a pothole or something to that effect, they could actually take a picture of it, put in any other details they want, and it would get forwarded on to the appropriate staff member. The other thing as well is they also have integration with other equipment, such as like Trimble GPS units, and again that's a separate figure where it's 7,100, and that figure would be to deploy it across like all 10 licenses. And then the year two would be 670. So, and then current users, there's a wide array of them, going all the way from Colorado, Iowa, and I know there's a few communities around here that at one point in time or another have utilized Cartograph. The other one is Azteca CityWorks. They actually have a business partner relationship with Esri, so that's a lot more seamless integration with the Esri platform. And then also it integrates well, as I've said, with Esri programs such as ArcServer. It's SQL based. Previously as well, this was run mainly on servers or individual machines operated by municipalities, but they as well have moved to the cloud instance since everyone is going to the cloud environment. And this has a variety of modules as well, ranging from work orders to land uses, code enforcement, and permitting. Their pricing is a tiered one. Essentially, cost of 20 login accounts would be 27,000. That's the upfront initial implementation. If fewer accounts are needed than that, then the cost they were giving me per user account would be 4,500. Implementation, this would be across like all per se 20 accounts would be 30,000. If it's less than 20, divided appropriately, and you would get the number. And then per year would be the 20,000 thereafter. And the a little bit of an alarming thing with the CityWorks one is that with a lot of your other options, they'll give a cost, I would say, within implementation or even the software itself for the cloud fee. And in this case, it's actually another So there is an opportunity where if the municipalities, did want to do the city works option, we could potentially do a joint purchase with Cook County, cause they are open to that.
Meaning that would also incorporate the cost of the login account, et cetera.
Yeah, so, and especially since Cook County is ordering so many user IDs and so forth, that would likely bring the price down. Cause I didn't get a price for if we did that option, but because Azteca didn't relay that to me, but, I talked to Cook County and they are open with that. A lot of people, as you can see, use, CityWorks, as I said, Cook County, and then a lot of, my previous employment past as well, such as, Champaign and Northbrook, and then Champaign County as well. The other option is EnerGov. I mean, as far as being on the single asset management, I'd say they're a fairly new option, relatively compared to the previous two. They're Esri, a Microsoft Platinum business partner, and they're actually Microsoft Net and SQL Server based. And they offer a variety of modules, permitting, land management, asset management, and then citizen relationship management. It's cloud and server based, and then it's full integration with, Esri Arc Server Maps. And then it also allows for, graphic workflows and, personalization of the user experience. And another unique thing about this as well is well, at least on our end, when you're trying to develop little apps such as that heat map thing you saw earlier, it's utilized an Esri extension called Model Builder. This actually works fairly seamlessly with Model Builder, so you can actually get some widgets to actually fully function within EnerGov as well, so that's something to consider. EnerGov actually has essentially two pricing options. You have a purchase option, where essentially, you just purchase it, outright, and then you have yearly subscription. The purchase is, roughly about 3,000 per license, or 29,990 for every 10. The nice thing with the EnerGov is I was alluding to some of the other ones with, like Cartograph or some of the other ones, they try to peg you into certain aspects of it. So like you'll either get like a public works work order thing, or you'll get land management, and then you'll have to pay more to get some other different modules. This includes like several of them, even including a citizen app is in here as well. Subscription would be $9.90 a month for 10 users, and there's a 5% discount if you, say you'll subscribe to them for essentially 3 years. And again, subscription includes everything. Implementation would be 82,000, and that would be across like all of the licenses, so it isn't just like one. Another unique option as well is this, type of program actually opens up, to various consortiums where if you want staff or so forth, so that way you can get even additional members, if you actually want the consortium to get certified essentially in installation and running EnerGov, this option offers that as well. So that would be a little bit under 4,000 for the training. The EnerGov has a variety of clients. The only one in the general vicinity of the area is, City of Urbana, but they're, all over. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Cambridge, Massachusetts utilizes them as well. And then, ViewWorks, that's the one I just, found out about from, Jen Schaefer. Essentially, that's a Esri, Silver business partner. So again, a lot of seamless integration. It has the graphic workflow as well, alluding to what I previously mentioned about Model Builder. They also have the, tight integration, and they have a local government suite. Nice thing about this is essentially it's very customizable, and it's a 311 style service request suite, so essentially it encompasses like everything you would, think of in local government. If you tell them, they will design it appropriately. So, VWorks seems very much so like I would say a blank slate type asset management program. Uh, the initial pricing he gave me was 35,000 for 10 licenses. However, they seem to be very interested in consortiums and so forth, and it seemed like that if we engaged them as far as potentially viewing them as a vendor, we could potentially get the price to go a lot lower. And then implementation, again, they did not give me a cost with that, so I'm just gonna peg that at around the 30%. And then ViewWorks, um, they have some of their clients. They haven't really done a lot of stuff around here. It's mainly been up in New England. So that seems to be where they're mainly at. So I think that's also why they may be looking to work with some clients out in the Midwest too. And then SunGuard, I previously have worked with them in a variety of different places I've worked at. I can't really get enough concrete data from them, so I'm gonna keep trying. One of the things though, if you look at their website, everything is very rigid, so it seems like you have to pay for a specific function, you'll get a wide array. So essentially, I mean, that gives an overview of a lot of the materials I gave you. If you have any questions, let me know about them. Yeah.
Did Cartograph indicate anything about flex licensing to you?
No.
Okay, one of the things that when we first started with them, we were on a module basis. We started out with the work directors, so we could go with computerized work orders and so forth. About 3 years later, they went to a flex license pricing. For one price, we get the whole suite, everything in public works, every single module piece. So for pavement review, all the way down to street lighting, sewer review, water review, all of it. And I've got it wide open. So that's one of the data sets that you have for me on maps so far. Those are the only ones we've been able to populate. We haven't had time to do the other. We're starting to work on the other stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I communicated with them, like as far as the public, well, as far as the public works stuff goes, I mean, they did mention that the main part I was saying as far as the rigidity of it was pertaining to the other departments.
They have at that point they started as a public works asset management software company.
Yeah.
We've had them build permitting and software for our building department. And it's been implemented for about 2 years now. But that's an area that they really haven't gotten into until recently. And we're in the process of rolling out one of their mobile suites for sign units via the GPS.
Yeah, I mean, a Cartograph, I could definitely get back with them, see if they'd be willing to do fluxes, especially on the permitting side of that.
But I know, having attended some of the user groups in the area, south side here, Romeoville, ourselves, Tinley Park, I know Homewood was looking at it at one point. Robinson Engineering here in, the Southland is a third-party business partner with them and their local support service office. So many of their clients where they're doing stuff for pavement for them is done on an internal.
The function's mostly public works stuff, correct?
Correct. Correct.
My experience on the building department side was that programmers, they were great to work with. You asked them what you wanted, and pretty much crafted specifically what our needs were.
And one of the facets there is, we were also on with another vendor working in redoing the city's website. So what we got ultimately doing was creating a online request form. And Cartograph had that too, an online request system with us as part of it. So I take daily online requests to the entire city come in from Cartograph, they're logged for accountability, and those requests or work orders are emailed out to various departments. So it's worked across multiple areas. As much as we can put it into it with limited staff.
Do you know which communities already have applications, and what applications those are?
The only one that I was aware of as far as with the Cartograph goes would essentially be Tinley Park. I know they were a big user of that, and I know that they're doing some pavement marking, the essentially the whole bag they were doing, ranging from storms and Syrian alike. Beyond that though, I have not really heard much more implementation of that around here. The only other ones I knew about as far as in the region is what I was alluding to with Northbrook and Urbana and so forth. So a lot of the ones like out in the southwest area, including Lamont, they were actually using one they actually custom built. It was called like Bluebird. So for a lot of the communities around like Lamont and Palos Park and that entire area, it seemed like they were utilizing that.
So Tim, we have part of that?
Yeah.
If we were to go with another vendor, how do they tie in? If part of that, and we have another vendor.
Well,
Are they not gonna be able to connect to everything else we have?
Yeah, I mean, as far as with Tinley Park, I mean, yeah, that would be a little difficult to say the least to essentially tie it in across two different vendors. I mean, one of the things with Tinley were already, it makes it a little skewed is the fact that they decided to just go their own way and do their own GIS solution to begin with. Now that data is transferable, so that part doesn't really mean anything here or there because GIS is GIS. But as far as actually getting work orders and things that if you wanted to transfer stuff between things, I admittedly have to research that one. Because all ones I've worked with in the past, it was always one vendor or transferring it from one to one, never like seamless between two.
Why is the work orders or geocode didn't ship back?
Oh, Forrest has cartograms here, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And we just passed the agreement the last council meeting for the consortium, so we're moving forward.
Doesn't Mark Forrest have? Not
No, no, because that's originally where this came
Right.
from, because they really
wanted it.
moved forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no further questions on this, I would just say look through all the materials and then communicate with me again which way, you guys wanna move, so that way I know which vendor I should be trying to tailor this toward.
Do you have a summary spreadsheet that shows the comparison?
Yeah, yeah, I could send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering also because the way that they broke out the pricing, you know, is similar but not exact,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit hard. Would you be able to make some assumptions based on the, you know, the 30% implementation or things like that, and do maybe potentially an overall cost for 10 communities or per community? I don't know how many you've kind of broken it out into 10, but
Yeah.
I think that you had 10 communities express interest in.
From the initial survey I sent out in the past, I think that's a safe assumption.
And how many people or how many communities do you have participating in the consortium?
In a consortium, it's, especially with the CDBG fund, then it's up to about 21.
You told him about that?
Yeah, that was the last meeting, where I alluded, well, actually, a lot of you weren't here, so I should go over that. Yeah, good point on that one. About a month and a half ago, we actually got a CDBG grant funding from, Cook County to essentially cover some communities joining the consortium. One's essentially there's like a percentage chart that HUD gave Cook County and it was based on that. So, 10 communities essentially were, covered in that. And it's essentially, I guess you come out there, you could say, cause each of you are doing, some, but it's a bigger project, not only is it GIS, but it's also handling some economic development for them as well, trying to do like some TOD and COD plans, so, Lakeisha and Dennis, do you remember all of them offhand?
RV, Dixon,
Yeah.
Marco, Chicago Heights, Riverdale?
Yeah.
Burnham, Blue Island,
Providence.
Fort Heights. Fort
yeah,
Heights.
Fort Heights, and
Burnham,
I think that one.
yeah.
Is this like the planning component of CDBG that these funds are provided on?
Yeah, we're essentially just pretty much just digitizing their infrastructure and their zoning,
So,
just giving them basic services.
so with that, essentially, that's how we were able to bring from Zayad, because we were awarded that. And the funding was awarded, going through the end of September, and, pretty much Cook County is gonna award us another one that'll go until September of the following year as well. So it's roughly a year and a half project. That transpired, yeah, a little over a month and a half ago. I put that in previous newsletters, but yeah, that is something that is going on where we're just essentially digitizing infrastructure and zoning and, very pertinent stuff essentially. Yeah, essentially the grant covers just digitizing the core components that they need for the economic development, so. Trying to think if there's anything else here.
Does anyone have any, I don't know, stories they wanna tell about successes using the map? Has anyone kinda done anything? I know we were gonna try to put together a little case, we're gonna start showing case studies on our website where people have had successes in using the map, kind of like how I showed you. We actually, had a, developer come in and was looking for a certain site in the south suburbs. It had to be 250,000 square foot or something, it had to have a couple other, attributes related to it, and, I was able to put together a couple maps, V-maps that I showed on here, and just send him the files, and he was able to open them, and he said it was really helpful. Just, he never knew all this information was available. He said he'd never seen anything like it before, and that, it really put the south suburbs in an advantage to get businesses over other places in the county. So he was really excited about that. I don't know if anyone else has used it at all for anything, even just finding a building or something.
Got a question, similar matter. Pace is one of the layers in terms of their stops.
Yeah.
I just clicked to see where Richland Park stops were. They have multiple stops in Richland Park, and the only stop in Richland Park that I'm familiar with is right at the metro station. So, I was questioning the accuracy of the data.
Well, that's from Pace. I mean, just because they say there's a stop there, doesn't mean the bus driver's gonna stop there.
I mean, I'll contact George Katsandas, he's their GIS coordinator, but all the stuff you see from Pace, I got directly from them.
Yeah, I just put it, open it up to the public, and when they start clicking on there, and like, oh, I didn't know there was a stop here, that's not a new zone. Your complaint if there's no stop. And so it made me wonder what other layers have been like this, same.
Well, that, I mean, it's from Pace, like we said.
But remember the stop sign we put about typically every 2 blocks or so. But that's something else to worry about. Because I think we've kind of looked at.
Yeah, it's got multiple stops. You know, if you're going on the highway, then back to you know, on the stop trail.
That happens to be probably the route of the 50-route bus as it goes through the metro station.
Away from that.
Well, I mean, just to clarify, I could give him a call today to just double check that, but everything you see pertaining to Metro, Pace, the whole to-do that comes directly from Pace and Metro respectively. And then the, ridership counts and so forth comes from the RTA, cause we have an agreement with them, so.
We created the Richland Park, okay, specific for it, and we put it up on our website. And we're all uncomfortable with how it's showing, I don't think it's illustrated there. I'm just wondering, as a part of our working relationship, if someone could come out,
Yeah.
take a look at it.
And like you said, I don't know if you were in the room yet, but we are doing, a help widget and, metadata one. So metadata will show you exactly where all the info is coming from, the data.
As well as the contact person.
Right.
For any information.
And then the help widget is gonna kinda outline how to do basic things.
Yeah, as far as website stuff and things like that, if you need one of us to come out there, we will. to parse through issues with it, so.
With the summary information that we requested, concerning these proposals, will you be able to tell us, like, you know, this is what we use a number of 10,
Yeah.
we have community committed thus far, what that would amount to, in cost per year per community? Just to give me a clearer picture, because these are financial decisions that have to be made. I almost feel like I need a full-time GIS person, there's a lot of information you're giving us now. I personally would not invest the amount of time that it seems to be required. And now I'm seeing a lot with information, including in relation to Public Works, which is not my area. So, you know, spending money on technology or trying to use is something else.
Yeah, I can further break down the costs, in that spreadsheet, so you guys could look over it, and then, we could make a decision of which way to go within the following month.
And then the question that I have, you know, I know, the independent board director, he and I have spoken, and he's familiar with CardDrive, so he thinks that's a good function, he wants the, kind of the work order streamlining and all of that. But for my purposes, you know, I wanna look at it as, you know, for business license renewal and things like that, rather than using the platform from, you know, a module that we have to purchase on an existing platform with the Organization Village. So, you know, I have to make a decision about investing, you know, in a module or system, or thinking that there may be more adaptability to try to, join, you know, the user that within a consortium. But I don't know how many of them are gonna be more user friendly for what I, and still do the public works and still do the business. So, you know, I know you tried to make some, you know, kind of both tease that out a little bit, but, you know, just, if you've looked at all of these, if you could, I don't know, if you wanna just weigh in and think, maybe individually or talk to them separately, or.
I mean, I could give my opinion on like all four of them with the spreadsheet, cause essentially all of them, to a certain degree, all have their benefits and drawbacks in certain ways I was finding them, so.
You can do that in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Here's another function, I don't know if we went over it, that we kind of put in, we have a buffer tool now in the identify. So let's say you had I don't know, you wanted to make a zoning change, so you needed to put out a public notice for everyone that's in 500 feet of that parcel. You click on the identify tool, and you can see the buffer things right here. You can set your buffer, you can set your units. You click this dot, and then you go to the parcel you want, and you just click on the parcel, and it will automatically buffer all the parcels, so there's 23 parcels within 500 feet. And you can click on this Excel thing right here. And you can save it. And then you can
mobile site on iPad.
Oh, well, did we talk about that? If you're looking for how to go to the mobile, say it again?
It gives forced to the mobile site.
Oh,
on
does it?
iPad.
Okay.
There's Safari.
Uh-huh. We'd rather go.
Michael Dennis,
Yeah.
I think what, for a lot of us, I think it's a great tool. Some of us are gonna bump around trying to figure out how
Yeah.
we can use our daily processes
Right.
with GIS. I think maybe that's something where you can help these individuals out and making this investment, that what can these tools
Right.
and make my job easier? So whether it's sending it out to the partners here and saying, hey, what questions do you have, so we can create some processes that match up with this programming, so it can make your job easier. Or you guys come up with some ideas to respond back to us, to get us more interested in being able to use this tool, because, hey, understanding what, Rita's saying, if you're not familiar with it, you're spending more time trying to figure out how to use it as opposed to getting the answers of how you used to get it all the time. So it's hard to make that change unless you show us how does it make our life easy. So just kind of something to think about, to send out to the people that are interested in looking at this.
I had a question about, is there a particular layer if you're looking for like, addresses? Do you have address data?
Yes. So do you want to search for an address? Do you want to be able to click on a piece of land and tell you the address?
I'd like to know both or either, really. I actually spent a little bit of time on looking at different layers, just as you mentioned, just kind of pumping around, kind of getting familiar. And I noticed that, there's so many different attribute layers that could be utilized. Obviously, most of them are going to be not having the data to give to you,
Right.
which I understand that. But in terms of the address, I know Mike sent an address map over before, and I was spending if I send you a CAD map, would you be able to update it? Okay. But it just currently, like, what we have now, what layer do I go to to just find, basic?
So the best way to get just basic data is, you just click on the first button, it's base map.
Okay.
Parcels will already be turned on.
Okay.
And then you just have the identify tool, so you can either identify with a rectangle or just a point, and you can just zoom in and just click on that parcel. I have my buffer on it, but,
In that circle, you've got at 500 feet where somebody could change it to 250 because that's their requirement to send out public notices.
right, you can change whatever you want. So I'm just gonna turn this off.
You know, the buffer you put in there?
Yeah, right here, yeah, if you wanted to, query, however many buildings you wanted at a time, you can use the buffer setting. If you just wanted to query one building at a time, just put it to 0 and you hit this point, and then you just click on the identify tool, and it'll give you, click on the triangle. If you click on this, it'll zoom you right into it, and then it'll give you the address, and the PIN number, and everything else associated. We've got a lot of information on your township.
You basically have the assessor's office in
Right.
there.
So
There's
there's-
taxes paid in there.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if you go to this parcel selector, and you click on parcel, they'll show up. So these are the parcels you clicked on. This is probably even easier way. Use the parcel selector, and then look, when I scroll over each one, it'll highlight it, and it'll tell me the PIN and the address right there. And then if I scroll my mouse over onto the parcel itself, it'll give you the PIN again, the address, the city, and then it'll give you a link to the assessor's data and the recorder of deeds data right there. So all you have to do is hover over it and then click on the link, and it'll bring you right to the assessor's data office. So this is a big one.
But then, is that assuming where you know where you're going? What if you have, what if you're looking for, 138?
Then you hit this home button, address search. It's a home, like a house. So if you're looking for a house, click on the house, address search, and then you can click in, whatever street. You have to put the city it's in though. So you have to, I don't know if anyone has an address for me. What's this address for me? now it's based on the street, the way a lot of geocoding works, it's all street midline file. So,
One of the things we're working through with Cook Animal County right now is cleaning up their address points, and we're gonna move the geocode to the legitimate address points. As this is many of you know, Cook County has issues with their address points, so I'm helping them on that.
the thing map, you click on the thing, and it's like,
Just clicking addresses,
Whatever
already
you want.
addresses for,
it'll take you right there.
commercial properties that are both in the, they're all over one thing.
Essentially, what Cook and Will County at their standards are is essentially they try to put more than 1 point on the parcel. So that's essentially how we've been dealing with that in that case.
They have to be, the database we use, and we want to use the last one that, is, they have to not to, put it consistently what they do. But they couldn't tell us the house is. So, like with apartments,
Yeah.
They'll do it every second address. Give some of them.
At this point in time with them, that's how we've been doing that. Essentially just drawing in just putting in an address point of roughly where each unit is. Now, if it's like more than a 2-story structure, unfortunately, you're gonna have a lot of points very close to each other in a little area. But that's essentially how they've been directing me to do that. And then just as like issues have arisen, like a little over a month ago, I did an address map for Aslam. I end up like going through there and whatever addresses were wrong, fixing that.
Right.
So.
And I generated a list, and then I also have, I think part of it is the address map, which is kind of commensurate with that being, older.
Yeah.
So that's why that's like the CAD map of what we have now,
Yeah.
it's up to like 09. And then I have a list that we're trying to get together and get to, so it's really,
I mean, definitely, if you guys have original address lists, give them to me, cause I'm finding a lot of inaccuracies in the Cook
Right.
County stuff, so.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know, I mean, besides this, I actually have a side job where I do parcel auditing for a utility company. And we do a lot of auditing around Cook County, and the addresses are absolutely a mess. So, yeah, it's gonna take a while. We'll get it fixed, but it's gonna take a while.
Well, I think that, I'll speak like Reagan did, if we could just have the time to sit down and wade through this for a while, we find a lot more useful. It's
Yep.
kind of,
We've been adding a lot of, like census statistical data to the map, so like this is just an example, retail spending by block route. We've added a bunch more at the bottom. I think we're gonna add some more
and
census
what's your,
data.
the retail spending is,
It's off of,
That's off of Esri data, and they get their data from a variety of sources. I'd have to look at my metadata book, but they get some stuff off of like CoStar and other
it's
stuff.
like Claritas, you heard of Claritas
yeah,
data?
the range is.
Esri like bought out Claritas, so.
What's the, but the range was like 90 to 110, so what's the unit cost?
I think it's,
All you think.
we can change the, I'm not sure.
a lot of the services that you'll see at the bottom of this, a lot of you may be wondering why that's not in the data set. And a lot of things that we have at the bottom here are actually consumed from ArcGIS.com because places like HUD, the Census, EPA, and so forth, they've put a lot of the common data sets that you would get off data.gov and so forth before directly on ArcGIS.com via REST service. And you can't put it in by data set, you can only put it in essentially in the layer group. So for a lot of those ones in the bottom that are just essentially hanging down there, those are actually being consumed via publicly facing service off of ArcGIS.com. So yeah, we'll make some amendments to that document. I'm trying to think, yeah, beyond that, I mean, if any of you guys want us to come out, I'd say just shoot me an email and then we'll set up a date to go over everything.
Yeah, I know Nancy wants to do that since no one else is doing the copy of the concrete. Yeah.
Yeah, just email me and then we'll set it up appropriately. So, and then also, I mean, I need your guys' help getting other data sets too, because I mean, we have the core components in there, like your infrastructure and your zone, and then the footprints we're developing. But I think there could be a lot to be said for putting like permit data in there as well as police and fire calls, because I did a lot of that in Northbrook, because we had the 911 and 977 up there, so that'd be really good to put in the keeping. So.
You getting that, I don't even know what system it is, that consortium system of 911 calls. Don't get it in.
I've worked with South Carolina gas analysts, and I mean, they're open to giving the data, it's just the community's directing them to, so. So just direct your various 911 agencies, because that'd be good for them to maps and so forth. And then, yeah, as I said before, especially the vacant properties, actually, I have it for a number of the communities. But if any of you guys have like listings of vacant properties, that'd be very helpful as well. And you'll probably be getting an email from me soon, because Cook County does want to have a meeting on that, because I've alluded to it in previous emails, but Cook County is building that giant regional vacant property registry portal now, where even if communities don't opt into that ordinance, you can still use that registry where banks and so forth could register and the information will get forwarded to the respective municipality. They do want to start having like a user group though to parse through the issues that might arise from that. So if any of you guys want to be on that committee, let me know, because I know probably in the next couple of weeks they want to get underway with that. Because I think the only community in our membership that opted into that ordinance is Olympia Fields, but beyond that, even if you aren't opted in, it'd still be nice to have like a one-stop shop for that. So.
We're also always constantly populating available buildings and land. So if you have any special sites that you want to be promoted, let us know information and we can populate it and put it on the website.
Yeah, this thing, especially through Reggie's, been getting a lot of developer traffic.
Yeah, we've been sending a lot of maps to developers lately, so or prospective businesses looking to move in. It's either existing warehouses or vacant land.
Well, yeah, beyond that, that's really all I have. If there's any questions, feel free to talk to me after, email me to set up a training thing, and then we'll go from there on all of this.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah,
especially, well, not so much me, it's Jason.
Does he have a Droid or
I said yes to doing it
oh, well,
because
it's either
that's
Android or
what
iPhone
we're supposed to do.
or
And
iPad.
not having it as
You know, maybe he was either, he was asking.
well,
You can throw me on there too, I bet.
Well, it's not incumbent at all, and
I really like it, you guys are strong.
Yeah.
how do we ramp, when we bring it back up?
Right.
Plan where you start prioritizing one person or
Yeah.
that person do.
Because we had that big group game
In order to.
Right.
It is.
Do you have capability?
And those decisions need to be made. Technical staff person.
go back where. So, nine there,
We're adding an asset management system that was linking to our finance system.
Oh, not at all.
I don't know how.
I mean, you can talk to maybe have your public consumption or actually ask one.
That goes back to.
I mean, they love it. It just makes their lives
Not my
easier.
thing to
They track everything better.
We've got so much.
Technician too, so he can start doing the big picture stuff. And that's why I told him, Gary, this is, Gary, you're going to do this.
Is anything happening with TOTs now?
Well, how do you get?
Oh, it has?
Well, without getting.
The last one. Yeah, council, when was that, a few weeks ago?
Well, it's actually,
So when is it going to effect, right then?
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is that there is going to be, at least in my mind, so we start, get ready to start about.
Almost in time for the hospital.
Well, I know.
actually,
Oh, we better.
Brian called me.
if they
Put
had
the
a
person
TOD,
over here is only to advantage, because how it is.
Okay, well, the TOD site designs, those
Yeah, I
pass.
mean, the zone is to get them back on their feet. Somebody
I'm most interested in the
has to
design.
maintain those agreements.
I know we don't.
So that's what I'm saying, we're making it work, but the work is, it's valued to raise the property value.
Tell them to, I think, I don't know what their buffer is. Tell them to use the system, get it really easily, all those addresses.
Be an analyst here.
so again, we just expanded our TIF to include the TOD.
Okay.
So we also wanted to include the original. You know,
So right on. Vermont should be, so.
Yeah, I'll talk to those guys and see what's good to have you guys out. Cause they'll be more hands-on with it.
Yeah.
I do more of the coordinating.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, think about, you talk about you know, it needs to be integrated all the way
Especially,
through, saying, hey, I need a.
well, actually, police,
a
fire,
person, maybe that person, the technician that helps out with the IT department, I don't know.
Well, water, I think once he gets his, once he converts all his.
Yeah.
Robert, real quick, I'll talk to you soon.
You finally got this thing to work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Much later after. Hey. Do you leave this computer on for